Videotape was developed in the 50s for broadcast television. Since then, startling advances in technology have taken place. As these developments have filtered down to the consumer, use of videotape has moved into fast forward.
This machine is a later version of a machine that was first introduced in 1956. It had the astounding ability to record 1 hour of television, picture, and sound, and then play it back instantly. Suddenly it was possible to pre-record things for later shows, to delay programming for different time zones, to edit out mistakes, and to edit creatively. An audio tape recorder records sound as magnetic fluctuations on a flexible magnetic ribbon. A videotape machine does the same thing with sound and pictures. Videotape begins life as a liquid. Fine particles, usually of metallic oxide, glues, and other chemicals, are thoroughly mixed in large vats. The ultimate performance of the tape can be affected by even the tiniest speck of dust, so the entire process is carried out in a dust-free environment. The pre-mixed liquid is then coated onto a plastic backing in ultra-thin layers. They're thin enough to be measured in microns. Next, the tape is passed through an orientation magnet that aligns the random particles in a single uniform direction. The videotape is then dried and wound in great big wide rolls. Then it's cut into the desired widths. This is also a precision process. The biggest difference between audio tape and videotape is mostly a matter of real estate. A good audio tape machine can record frequencies or fluctuations of about 15,000 cycles per second. That's considered good for audio. It does that by moving the tape past the recording head at a leisurely 15 inches per second or even less. Now, because of the way we transmit video in North America, if you want to capture a nice sharp picture, it's necessary to record fluctuations of up to 4.5 million cycles per second. There's an easy way to elevate an audio tape recorder up to video standards. Move the tape faster. Real estate. More and faster moving information requires more tape. Early attempts at making videotape recorders recorded extremely short video recordings on ordinary spools of audio tape. Because for video, the tape speed that was necessary back then was over 1,000 inches per second. And that would have meant humongous, unmanageable reels for a 1-hour show. Ignoring failed attempts at making a usable videotape machine, this is the winner. Rather than moving the tape faster, he used a fatter tape and moved that fatter tape past an assembly of spinning heads. This machine's called a quad machine because there are 4 of those spinning heads. Good thing they didn't decide to use 6 spinning heads. It works like this. A 2-inch wide tape is cupped 1/4 of the way around that spinning drum that has the 4 heads on it. It's cupped in such a way that one of those heads is always in contact with the tape. As one leaves, another one comes back on. The tape moves through the assembly like this as the head drum spins. And the effect of all that is that the heads leave their magnetic fluctuations as thin perpendicular tracks. This arrangement effectively accordions 85 miles of recorded tracks onto a manageable spool of tape. Having spinning heads leave tracks on fat tape is the secret of all videotape recording. Now, video is produced at a rate of 30 full picture scans every second. And the way this machine's set up, each one of our 4 heads on the quad machine only records a tiny segment of each picture every time it swipes across the tape. Any mismatches in those heads will show themselves off in segments. Quad machines normally work pretty well, but here's one of the more famous things you see on the air. High frequency mismatch. Knocks the heck out of the color. On this machine, audio is recorded pretty conventionally by a separate head linearly along the edge of the track. After over 20 years worth of improvements to videotape and recording heads and electronics itself, it was possible in the late 1970s to introduce a new standard. The 1-inch machine records high-quality video images on less real estate. The 1-inch wide tape is wrapped 360 degrees around the head drum. It's wrapped in a helix. And a single video head on that drum leaves recorded tracks that look like this, long diagonals. Using just a single head on that drum has some advantages. For one thing, those nasty segmented effects of our quad machine are gone. For another, a special effect comes along for free. Each rotation of the head drum is one full picture scan. Right now, the thing's playing normally. If I stop the tape, bingo. Still pictures. If I move the tape slower than normal, slow motion. Referring to the way that the tape is wrapped around the drum on this machine, 1-inch machines are called helical machines. Another broadcast format is the 3/4-inch video cassette. The savings in real estate here are based on a decision to record less on the tape. 3/4-inch is an industry standard for news and corporate video because of the ease of use and the cost of a 3/4-inch recorder compared to a 1-inch machine. Three-quarter-inch was the first cassette loading format, and because of the automatic threading mechanism, the tape is wrapped in half a helix around the head drum, and then 2 video heads spaced 180 degrees apart on the drum do the recordings. This arrangement is similar to a 1-inch machine in that each swipe of each head across the tape leaves one full picture scan as a diagonal track. So slow motion and still pictures are possible on 3/4, but it's time to discuss a problem with all helical machines. As that drum spins and the heads leave recorded tracks in the record mode, the tape is being pulled slowly past the drum. So the heads don't leave ruler straight tracks. They actually have a slight curve to them. In playback, if you stop the tape and leave the drum spinning, the heads can't quite follow those curved tracks that they laid down. This is the effect. The garbage on the screen is the effect of the heads falling off of one video track and onto an adjacent track. Expensive helical machines get around this problem by having video heads that can actually flex up and down a little bit to follow the shape of the stopped tracks. Other machines attempt to position the tape critically to hide the effect, and still other machines don't bother. This is the effect of moving the tape slowly past a 3/4-inch head drum. A better slow motion effect can be obtained if, instead of pulling the tape slowly past the drum, it's jumped one track at a time. That brings us to the 1/2-inch machines we're so familiar with, the Beta and VHS. These are also 180-degree wrap, 2-headed helical machines. I know they advertise more heads than 2, but the extra heads are for special effects. These 2 formats are functionally identical, but a difference in opinion about real estate makes them incompatible. The arrival of the 1/2-inch videotape format sparked a revolution in the consumer market. Home VCRs could play back Hollywood blockbusters, and video cameras replaced 8mm film for making home movies. The difference in formats between the 2 machines has sparked a lot of hot debates, but they may not be necessary anymore. There's a new format, 8mm. 8mm videotape represents another giant leap in magnetic head and tape technology. The 8mm machines are still 2-headed 180-degree wrap machines, but they now offer digital audio recorded by the spinning video heads. Each piece of tape on this chart represents the amount required to record 1 second of video. The 2-inch piece is 15 inches long. The 8mm piece is only 14 millimeters long. The little 8mm machines cost about 100 times less than the 2-inch quad machine that debuted in 1956, and they actually record a better picture, too. It's a rare case of real estate getting cheaper.
Video cassette recorders were originally seen as a threat to network television. However, a study commissioned by the networks in the United States indicates that VCRs may actually be a bonus. The secret is the practice of time shifting. Viewers record a program when they're out, or they can watch their favorite shows even if they're on at the same time. On behalf of the Science Edition, I'm Judy Halliday.